Yo, what's up guys, Dan here, and in today's video we're going to be talking about shooting with your smartphone. In this day and age we can all get a little bit carried away with gear and a bit obsessive about it. I know, I'm definitely one of those people, but what if you are just starting out or you can't afford to buy all of this gear? You can still create high quality videos and high quality content using nothing more than just your phone. One of the main things that you really need to kind of focus on when you're shooting video is the story. Is it interesting? Does it raise any questions? Does it educate? Does the video convey a certain emotion? Like, these are all really important things to factor into your video. Some of the biggest creators out there started and still use just their phone. If you are looking for a higher quality image from your phone, then I'm here to help. Before we start, if you would like to see more videos like this, then please subscribe. And if you gain any value from this video, then please consider leaving a like. I have an iPhone, so I'm going to be showing all examples using this. Sorry, Android users, but hopefully these will translate over. So my first tip is controlling your exposure. Treat your phone like any other camera. Basically, the higher the ISO value is going to be, the more digital noise you're going to be introducing into the image. So you need to lower that down as much as possible without underexposing your image. To do that, there are two options. The first way to control your exposure is by holding your thumb on your screen, and you'll see a little line with a sun appearing. You can swipe your thumb up and down and that will control the exposure. The second way of controlling your exposure is the way I prefer to do it. Tap this little arrow on the top of your screen, then you want to select the exposure icon, and then you'll see this little wheel pop up and you can move that and it will lock to wherever you leave it. My second tip is about frame rates and resolution. I always shoot in 4K as it is the highest resolution, so it's naturally of a better quality, especially when you downsize that to 1080p or HD for social media. For frames per second, I tend to go with 24 as that is the cinema standard. I'm not going to go too far into this as I've spoken about this in a couple of videos already. I sometimes move it to 25 if I'm noticing any light banding. When it comes to slow motion, I don't usually like to go anything over 60 frames a second. The reason for this being that 60 frames a second is the highest frame rate I can get while still recording in 4K. I get enough of a slow motion feel from it, and it's also not stopping down the amount of light that can get into the sensor. You can go to higher frame rates, you just have to step that down to 1080p. So the third thing I'm going to be talking about is lens choice. My phone has 3 lenses. I've actually done a few tests with these lenses, and the overall best one for image quality and clarity is the normal 1x lens. With the correct lighting conditions, the wide angle and the telephoto lenses still hold up really well, but they do seem to have a lower quality of image. My fourth tip is know your orientation. By this, I mean you need to know what platform you're going to be shooting for. If it's going to be mainly used for social media like Instagram or TikTok, I will always shoot in portrait mode or 16:9 ratio. The reason for doing this is to be able to make the most out of a phone screen real estate, because that's how it's going to be viewed. If it is for something more longer form or YouTube, then I will shoot in landscape mode, which is 9:16 ratio. The third way of doing this is not something that I would advise on doing for everything, but if you are shooting content where you know it's going to be repurposed for YouTube for longer form, and this is where shooting in 4K comes in handy, is I will shoot landscape and I will crop to a portrait image. While shooting in this way, you do need to keep in mind your composition. It needs to work well for both portrait and for landscape. Tip number 5 is camera movement. Camera movement's a really powerful thing. You can make people feel a certain way just by how you move the camera. Phones nowadays have really good internal stabilization, but there are a few ways of getting even smoother footage. You can try things such as tucking your elbows into yourself to create a more solid frame. You can also use the ninja walk alongside this to get even smoother footage, but prepare for a few weird looks. There are other ways to get smoother footage as well, such as gimbals, stabilization software, rigging out your phone with cages and handles. You can also be really erratic with your camera movements. I use this a lot if I know that I'm going to be shooting something where in the edit it requires a lot of energy or a lot of intensity, or if I'm trying to create a feeling of anxiety. Obviously, there are more ways of being able to get a better image, which comes from editing, so your color grading, etc. But the main thing for me is getting the shot and telling the story. If you've gained any value from this video, please leave a like, and if you want to see more from me and more tips and tricks, then please consider subscribing. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.